Welcome to Long Lost Friends. I'm Elizabeth Eve King.
And I'm Andrea Goyan.
I'm a painter, performer, writer, Pilates teacher, animal lover, and biologist.
Now, I'm a painter, performer, writer, Pilates teacher, animal lover, and okay, I'm not a biologist, but we're long lost
friends. Today, we are so delighted to be back talking to environmental scientist, educator, author, artist, Dr. Marcus Eriksen, also a paleontologist who goes digging for dinosaur bones. Marcus is recently co-founded Leap Lab, which is a network of small science centers in little towns so that all kids and adults, even if they live in a town so small, 2nd Street is the next town over, they can still have access to a museum and dinosaurs. So today he's going to tell us all about Leap Lab and how he started these small places and why we need them.
First, Marcus, do you have any more? We met Marcus's cats last go round. Do you have any more pets to share with us?
More pets?
Or bones.
Oh, there's there.
You got one behind you.
Skull. Does this Triceratops count as a pet?
Yes, I think.
Okay.
Pretty awesome.
Yeah. This is Trike, my little pet Triceratops. It was actually my pandemic project. I had all these bones lying around in time, so I sculpted all the missing bones and kept put the real bones in place. You can see it has a couple real horns here. The frill in the back is real. The nose horn is real, as well as the premax and the orbit on the eye. The rest is an epoxy I smeared to sculpt in the missing bone. So yeah, here's my pet right.
So are they all from different dinosaurs, the bones, then?
2 dinosaurs. One I collected 10 years ago, and the other was my undergraduate professor found a Triceratops back in 1988. And as a parting gift, when I left college, grad school, he said, take the skeleton with you, a few skull bones. And now I finally put them, actually I flew him to Los Angeles and we put them together. And it was a nice reunion and got to build this dinosaur together.
That is cool. Amazing.
Cool.
Very cool.
So, you want to tell us about Leap Lab?
Sure. So Leap Lab, I mean, it is a culmination of a lifetime of collecting things to share. When I was 15 years old, I remember I had 11 snakes in an aquarium. I had a baby alligator and 96 turtles in a pond, and I was a neighborhood zoo. I wanted to create like a zoo or museum. When I came to Los Angeles, I worked for Museum of Natural History. I worked for the LA Zoo. And then about 10 years ago, we began, in earnest, collecting fossils in Wyoming. I've been there for almost 30 years, but really building our collections. In fact, just last month, I came back with this hadrosaur femur that was in the ground just a month ago. And so we're building up these collections to build a science center called Leap Lab here in Ventura County, California. There's also another site in Lusk, Wyoming, and a third site we're developing in Fort Pierce, Florida. The idea of Leap Lab is create a network of science centers. Everyone deserves access to science literacy. And often we lose that once we leave high school or college. You lose that formal educational environment, but the informal sector is a place to go to see science. Besides a national park or the beach, a place to learn from other scientists, to see displays of artifacts of some of the rare and amazing things. If you live in a small town, you don't have easy access to those resources. In fact, here in Ventura County, I'm in Santa Paula right now, an hour north of Los Angeles. There is no science center or museum or a zoo here, and everyone here goes to Los Angeles or to Santa Barbara. I just found out that schools do not make the trip because it's too far to go in one day. To go there and take a bus, go to the museum, and they come back a 3-hour round trip for a couple hours in the museum. So there are 22 school districts that don't have good access to informal science learning. And we're going to build a museum in this site right here behind me. We're opening up in about 6 months to our locals in their county.
That is awesome. And when are you planning to,
Oh, no. We've lost Elizabeth again. Elizabeth is on the road, so her internet's a little sporadic. She'll be back. I don't know what question she was going to ask, though. I wish I did. Because I don't know enough about it to be the most interesting question asker. Is there another dinosaur behind the Triceratops?
Oh yeah, there are a couple.
Can you show us that?
A couple casts. It's a second Triceratops. There's one there, a second one here. This is a cast, a replica of a skull.
Okay.
Then a little T-Rex right here. Little T-Rex skull there. And we've got exhibitions and displays on fossils. I mean, in about 6 months, we'll have a full-fledged science center here. Displays like this one here, talking about the relationship between birds and dinosaurs. In fact, many scientists now are renaming dinosaurs. We're renaming birds avian dinosaurs. They're so similar that birds shouldn't be so separate from the dinosaur family tree. They're very close.
On your phone,
Months.
just having a
It's been.
Okay.
Hey, Evie, you there?
So I'm sorry. So you were saying that the birds are so similar to dinosaurs, they're rethinking the whole dinosaur.
They're now calling birds avian dinosaurs because they're just so similar. If I could find my T-Rex toe bone, I'd show you how a T-Rex toe and an ostrich toe are almost exactly alike. Just a difference in scale. So yeah, we're learning so much about dinosaurs and paleontology and Earth history, and everyone deserves access to that knowledge. And it's the informal sector. It's small museums and science centers and zoos and parks that are the conveyors of science after formal school. So that's why, Leap Lab was founded with the idea that everyone deserves access to creating many small museums. And that's one thing Leap Lab can do. This is the headquarters right here. We're going to produce fossil replicas, other displays, and share them across the country to other exhibits. And then go to other parts of the country and get exhibits that we can replicate and share. For example, I drove to New Orleans and back a few months ago, but I stopped in Holbrook, Arizona, to a private ranch that had a lot of petrified wood. So I bought this massive pound stump of petrified wood here, and I had it polished so you can see the rings inside the wood.
wow.
Completely agatized stump. It's about 225 million years old. So we want to get more of those, bring us to other centers.
And I think beyond, since we're talking science fiction too, beyond creating like incredible minds and people who are interested in the environment and the earth, you're also opening up opportunities for, it's all imagination, right? You're opening up opportunities for people to find their imaginations, to think about all these things.
Exactly. If you think about, for example, back to dinosaurs for a second, all we have are bones, teeth, and shells, and some footprints. We don't have many fossils. We're trying to interpret the entire history of life on Earth with this few scant bits of evidence. So when I give kids dinosaurs, I say, we don't know how fast they ran, how bad they smelled, how strong they were. They traveled in herds, what they sounded like. All this was open for interpretation. So there's lots of art and creativity in natural history. Yeah. For example, one thing that we collected, I took one Triceratops head and I sliced it in half. I had access to a rock saw. There's actually a LA County Museum of Natural History. I was there at 1 o'clock in the morning when I worked there. I used a giant rock saw to cut this Triceratops head in half. Cleaned out the brain cavity, closed it back up, cleaned it out, closed it up, and I poured liquid latex inside, and I pulled out this rubberized brain, this brain cast. I've had that bronzed. This is a bronze Triceratops brain cast. You can see all the nerves on this brain. It has the same 12 cranial nerves that you and I have, 12 pairs of nerves. And that's it. This thing as big as a soda can was inside of a 6-ton animal.
Wow.
And a T-Rex Not much bigger.
That's,
Hey, do you know what color dinosaurs were?
No idea. No idea at all. So
None.
actually, I've been having some fun with that. I've been making these pyramid-shaped scales out of melted plastic. I've been taking a bunch of assorted plastic bottle caps. I made a mold, and I've been casting out these scales. I'm planning to put the scales on this Triceratops skull where the bone is missing. I'm going to put these funky little scales all over the skull. So you'll see this like plasticized head with real bones and melted bottle caps making up colorful scales.
Very cool. That might be the future. We'll be part plastic and part bone. And
We already are.
oh, yeah, how much plastic do we already have in our bodies, right?
Exactly. From ankles to shoulders to breasts to even our augmented world of earbuds and iPhones. We're very much augmented with synthetic materials already.
But haven't we also probably ingested a ton of it? I mean, not to the degree that the camels did, for instance, but you know, that we have ingested plastic all the time.
There's been lots of research. For example, we found synthetic textile fibers in human lung tissue since the late 1960s. So yeah, we're increasingly becoming synthetic, whether we like it or not.
I don't think it's healthy.
Yeah. I mean, we have a common phrase in the plastics world: there's no more organic fish out there in the world.
Yeah.
They all have our chemistry in their bodies.
Oh, there's one, where is it that you can find dating from when the, gosh, sorry, I think it's like World War II radiation that you can find in like you can date their ear bones because you can tell when the radiation started.
I wasn't aware of
That
that.
makes sense?
Sure,
Yeah,
sure.
there's a, so they can tell the you know, date it from them, which is and how much older a lot of the fish will grow to be unless they're, you know, it's like so many of these fish we think of, oh, that's this big and only lives this long, but we're wrong when they found it in other places, you know. No, in fact, we're not catching them all. They live way longer, and you can actually see the radiation, which that was kind of interesting.
So you're saying 70 to 80-year-old fish are showing almost like tree rings in their really old, thick ear bones. You can see when those isotopes were ingested, adopted into their bone growth.
Yeah,
That's
yeah, it's pretty isn't it?
very cool.
So we are going to end this one and go on to another section, but we want to end with the best or most interesting thing you learned this week. Got another one?
Best thing this week, could I say this month? Because I just got back from digging dinosaurs.
Yeah, you can. Oh yeah, best thing this month.
I found the coolest little basket of horns. My first time ever, extremely rare. There's a dinosaur called a pachycephalosaur. They ran their heads together. Behind the dome is a little basket, like 4 or 5 horns. And I found that. I was digging up a Triceratops femur, and out popped this little basket of horns. And I let a little giddy little, look at that found. Amazing.
Are they all attached? Like a little?
Yeah, it looks like almost like crystals, just boop. These little horns stick out of one. It's a little bone here called the squamosal, that these little horns stick out of it. And I had that squamosal bone from one of those. Really cool.
Really
Oh
cool.
wow.
That's really cool. I'll say what my next live science fact, I guess I'm plugging them today, that, and you probably know this, Marcus, they call it newly discovered, but it looks like they discovered the bones in 2008 of what they're calling a walking whale ancestor. And they've named it the Anubis. But when you look at it, it really shouldn't be Anubis, it should be Amit, because it looks like it has a crocodile head more than a jackal head. And it's got this body that kind of the back end, I mean, it looks like a hippo almost like a hippopotamus with an alligator head. Kind of looks like that, which made me think it was more like a meat or a met than Anubis, but they named it Anubis. That's pretty cool. And it walked and it swam, sort of that missing moment in
Carnivorous?
carnivorous, yes.
Yeah, look,
Carnivorous whale.
Yeah. So that was cool.
carnivorous walking whales.
Carnivorous walking swimming whales.
Carnivorous swimming whales.
Walking
Wow.
swimming.
Did I say mine or? No? Okay, mine is that they've just started using a new water filtration system that uses no electricity because it's based on the way a cow's stomach digests, which uses anaerobic bacteria. So it doesn't need any electricity, and it goes through 2 stages where they use the anaerobic bacteria from the cow's stomach to filter this water. And then it's still a little cloudy, but it goes through a gravel filter and it's all going down. So it comes out clean and it doesn't require electricity.
Wow.
That's something I think.
Cool.
Wow.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, thank you, Marcus, again for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you.
Really great.
That was fun. Thank you.
Yeah.
We'll see you next time.
See you next time when you talk about art and science. Bye.
Bye.